Our first significant atmospheric river poised to hit California, plus a developing bomb cyclone. I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. This will be our first big impact storm to hit for the season. It's going to be an atmospheric river with rain and snow impacts, including the potential for impacts over the holiday travel period. That's going to top our weather impact alert headlines. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. Big plume of moisture developing in the Pacific, so there's going to be plenty of moisture to draw from. This is the time to download that ABC 10 Plus streaming app wherever you stream on TV. We've got in-depth forecasts and explainers that will keep you ahead of all the big impacts, including the rain, the snow, the changing snow line, the wind that we're expecting, plus how much rain and snow is ahead. So let's get it going here. First and foremost, we got to talk about this freeze warning in effect Monday evening tonight through Tuesday. We're talking about sub-freezing temperatures in many places in the valley, protecting people, plants, pets, all in need as we head towards tonight, early tomorrow morning. You can see the temperature forecast lows deep into the 30s here, all the way edging towards the Coastal Valley region with Fairfield at 33. For the foothills, we've got lows in the 30s and single digits to right around 10 degrees for the Tahoe Basin. So again, that's why we're going to have that freeze warning in effect. This is going to be the coldest morning that we've had since January 7th when we hit a low of 34. Since then, we've been above 35 degrees for downtown Sacramento. The timeline is as follows as we dig into this very active weather period. As far as Tuesday, we've got the freeze warning for valley lows in the 30s. Wednesday, winter storm warning goes into effect with rain and snow beginning. By Thursday, rain and snow continue. Snow level at 7,000 feet, but as that colder air kind of starts to move out and we pull in more of that subtropical air, Friday, we bring that snow line up to about 7,000 to 8,000 feet. We actually have a chance of thunderstorms as well. So this was definitely going to be a much more active weather period than we've seen all season long. Winter storm warning starts up on Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m., takes us through Wednesday evening at 10 p.m. Now, this is just to get us going. I very much anticipate that we're going to have multiple warnings that are going to be issued here throughout the week. Flood watch in effect meantime for the coastal region. This will begin late tomorrow, lasting through Friday morning with heaviest rain along the coast. As far as tomorrow, we basically are just increasing the cloud cover. We start off with that freeze warning, then we start to see the first band of rain not approaching until overnight Tuesday through Wednesday. Sloppy morning commute as we head into Wednesday morning, mainly from Sacramento northward, where the heaviest band of rain is expected to move in. You'll also see the snow also moving in through the Tahoe Basin. We'll still have some decent snow lines here right about the pass level or so. I'm anticipating some pretty big impacts there, at least for the morning hours. But given the southerly trajectory of where we're pulling in that moisture, we're expecting that snow line to actually go up throughout the day, and you can see how that happens. We start to see less in the way of the purple and whitish color and more of a mix right through the Tahoe Basin, down towards 395, along 88, 89, Highway 4, a really sloppy drive there at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Now, as far as the rain band, look at how that just hugs the I-80 line here through the southern, central, and northern Sacramento Valley. So this is very much going to be a storm that right now looks poised to most affect places north of I-80. That's not to say that the northern San Joaquin Valley won't get some impacts, but the higher rain totals, as we'll see, are going to be felt mostly in extreme northern California. So the atmospheric river landfall forecast from the CW3E, the Center for Western Weather and Weather Extremes, I should say, we're going to see mainly about a 3 or 4 here right along the northwest coast and towards the North Bay area, stretching through parts of the South Bay area with about 1 to 4 inches expected kind of in this sector right here. And then as we draw closer to where those AR4s are going to hit, it's about a 10 to 15 inch precipitation total, more so around places like Eureka. But we're going to expect some pretty significant snowfall as well around Shasta. So if your travel plans take you north along I-5. We're going to find some pretty decent snowfall there. But as far as the Tahoe Basin, here you can see we started off at about 7,000 feet on Wednesday, and then Thursday at about 8,000 feet into Friday, and then Saturday down to 7,000 feet again as that colder air starts to work its way in. So we've got a lot of variability for the mountains. As far as our temperatures, we have been stuck in this colder weather pattern recently. We had a stretch of some above normal temperatures earlier in the month. Once we got our first cold front coming through, that cold air mass was stuck in place here. Now we're going to kind of turn things back around to some warmer and wetter conditions. We actually need some precipitation. As you can see, the rundown for downtown Sacramento, we're still a little bit on the drier side. Average for the month is about 2 inches of rain. We're below that. We're closing in likely on about an inch by the time we get into Wednesday, even more so. And I think we're actually going to jump above our averages. Again, the overview of weather alerts that we're looking at first is going to be that freeze warning. That will be Monday night through Tuesday morning. It expires at 10 a.m. once we start to see some warmer weather develop during the afternoon. Tuesday's a dry day, nothing to worry about, but it's a great day to kind of prepare for what's to come, cleaning out the gutters, the storm drains, raking the leaves away from any places that need kind of access to that water coming through, and also just kind of getting ready for any of those leaks that may be popping up. We're hitting the rainy season, and we've been in a fairly dry period for the last several months. So this is going to be the first moderate to heavy rain and snow that we've seen all season, with our flood watch going into effect, as well as that winter storm warning on Tuesday. So our weather impact alert is going to start on Wednesday, rain and snow being the main impacts and the need to prepare for extra travel time. This is going to be the lead up into our Thanksgiving holiday travel. Now, what's interesting about this particular atmospheric river is it looks like it will indeed be a bomb cyclone. What is that? I know it gets big headlines and everybody says, oh, they're overdoing it. Well, it's legitimately a technical term here. It's a rapid pressure drop of 24 millibars or more in 24 hours or less. That leads to a rapidly intensifying storm with heavy rain and snow and damaging winds. And the winds can almost be hurricane force strength. And that's exactly what the Weather Prediction Center is calling for. Precipitation risk in the moderate range here for significant precipitation right in that area that will be an AR4 from about Northwest California through almost the North Bay area of San Francisco and inland areas for the Coastal Valley region and parts of the valley. As far as our heavy snow risk, we run that risk in the moderate range here right along the Sierra Spine up towards Shasta and parts of the coastal range, and then farther north up towards Oregon and even into parts of Washington. Our high wind risk will be in the slight risk for much of the state. It's certainly something to watch, and we'll be following some of those wind gusts that'll come through. Here's a look at that low pressure system, and you can see it's a very evident counterclockwise circulation right off the Pacific Northwest coast here, but it's drawing in all of this moisture right here. So this is what's going to feed us with multiple waves of wet weather coming through. We started off on Wednesday morning. We continued to see it into Wednesday evening. Now, what you'll notice, some of the Sierra already starting to see areas of rain. That's going to lead to runoff. We'll certainly have to watch any of the burn scar areas, as well as just how much water is coming down the hill. These are the types of storms that can be quite dangerous because of how much water may be coming down the hill, plus the added accumulation for the valley. Heading into Thursday, we still deal with scattered showers, not necessarily the biggest pulse of wet weather, but we're continuing to draw in accumulation. But again, that snow line is going to be pretty high. Now, Friday morning actually starts off dry, but don't take your eyes off this right here, because that's what's going to be due in during the day on Friday. I know this is not great timing for all those football playoffs, but that's indeed the forecast as we start to draw in some more moisture. We see the return of some scattered snow showers on Friday afternoon. And again, we have that slight chance of thunderstorms coming in. And then what happens is we're going to pull in some colder air. You'll kind of see it on our water vapor loop here, our future moisture. Here's the plume of moisture coming in, and it's a very significant warmer storm here. Now, during the day on Friday, you'll see this line right here shift to the south, indicating that we're giving more access to that colder air coming in, by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's going to help to draw down that snow line and also give resorts some pretty decent snowfall heading into Thanksgiving week, which is a huge week for people to head up to the Sierra ski resorts. Okay, so what is an atmospheric river? It has been quite some time since we've been talking about this. Basically, what we're going to be looking at is a low dropping out of the Pacific Northwest, tapping into this moisture that's coming in from the south. So it has a really easy access to pull in that moisture, kind of wrap it around. And as this starts to intensify, that low pressure system, it gives us the opportunity to draw in even more moisture. You may remember, if you're old enough to remember, Pineapple Express. Well, we've redefined kind of what the Pineapple Express is and also kind of fine-tuned the atmospheric river. Pineapple Express kind of got its name from drawing in moisture from the Hawaiian Islands, but now we've got more research going into atmospheric rivers, and we're able to kind of show exactly what's happening here. An atmospheric river, by the way, has about 7.5 to 15 times the flow of the Mississippi River for that water vapor, at least available moisture coming in. They're responsible for the majority of West Coast water supply and also the flooding that happens here. The absence of them usually leads to drought if we don't get enough over a winter season. Excessive rainfall forecast. You can see the biggest risk zone is going to be along the northwest coast, which will have that moderate risk, a slight risk as we start to draw its way southward. And then right through the Sacramento Valley, we're looking at more of a marginal risk through the North Bay region. That just indicates kind of where the focus of the precipitation is going to be. This is what I was talking about with our rainfall totals. When we talk about Wednesday through Saturday, picking up about an inch to close to about 2 inches through the northern San Joaquin Valley. The Delta area certainly looks like we're going to get more in the way of about 2 to 2.5 inches. And then when we call for that precipitation right along that I-80 line, 2.5 to almost 3 inches of rain. Some of these may be a little bit overshot here, but certainly within a range of almost about 4 inches of rain through some parts of the eastern valley communities, including Folsom, Roseville, Rockland, Loomis, Lincoln, El Dorado Hills, and then Nevada City as we get a little bit higher in elevation, about 5 inches of rain or so. In terms of our snowfall, again, it's going to be snow, rain, kind of bouncing back and forth. But all in all, about 1 to 3 feet of snow possible when we add it all up. The nice thing is that we get the rain first and then the snow. So it will be snow, rain, snow. That's how I should have said it. Snow, rain, snow. And you'll see this here on our Futurecast. So Tuesday, we're dry, start off cold, freeze warning in effect. Here comes that low, that rapidly intensifying low, becoming a bomb cyclone, it looks like. And that's what's going to deliver the big rain and strong winds. So we'll be following that a little bit closer as we continue these extended forecasts. But just keep in mind, looks like we're going to see wind gusts upwards of about 40 miles per hour. Heading into Thursday, we start to see more of that warmth pulled in. And then this line of rain comes in on Friday. As the cold air starts to work in, we're going to see a little bit of a break on Saturday, but then this colder storm starts to arrive on Sunday. I know that's like the worst news for travel, but the best news for ski resorts, because what that means is we're going to see those chain controls very likely down the hill, which means slow going over the Sierra. But if you're an avid skier or snowboarder, you'll take it as long as you get that Thanksgiving skiing and snowboarding in, right? Heading into Thanksgiving, by the way, it looks like we will start to see some drying happening. It's a little too early to tell how long this cycle is going to stick around, but this is the time of year we usually see things pick up pretty rapidly. December, January, and February being our wettest 3 months of the year. Our 8 to 14 day climate outlook does look likely cooler. So once we get through this warm part of the storm cycle, we get into a colder and likely wetter pattern heading into our Thanksgiving week and even the beginning of December. Speaking of Thanksgiving, it is 10 days and counting. Winter solstice is 32, Christmas Day 37, and we're ringing in the new year 44 days from now. First off, those temperatures, tonight's lows near 10 for the high country, 40 for afternoon highs. Will be in the 40s and 50s down low for the foothills. Across the coast, highs are going to warm to near 60 after morning lows, especially for inland areas at or slightly below the freezing mark. We'll see that straight up and down the valley near the freezing mark for morning lows on Tuesday. We've got a very active weather pattern here Wednesday through the beginning of the weekend, with temperatures kind of bouncing around for the most part for the mountains, the hills, and the coast. As far as our 3-day forecast, weather impact alert starts up on Wednesday. We take it through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday of next week. Still calling for a slight chance of showers Tuesday and Wednesday. Still a little too early to tell how impactful that will be. And there's our Thanksgiving icon. Yep, just what I say, 10 days away? 10 days away there on Thursday, and it does look like we'll start to clear things out.